Good evening and welcome to West Talk. It's been a minute. We've been a bit lazy these last few weeks, so we've been showing you the reruns, but we're back with another fresh episode today. We're going to be dipping into the events of the month that's coming up, but first we're going to have a guest here in studio. Before we get into that, I just want to give a shout out. I'm wearing it, I'm repping it today. Bootleg Brew Co. I think Corner Brook's first craft brewery, not Western Newfoundlands, but yeah, Corner Brook's first craft brewery, which established itself on West Street, announced this week that they're sadly going to be closing up their doors after a really good run. Some fantastic beer, some great memories, great music. And so just wanted to give a little special West Talk shout out to Matt and Morgan for everything that they've done for the community during their time operating this business. So thank you guys, and all the best in your future endeavors. I'm sure you're going to get up to some cool stuff. It's an exciting time of year. The street sweepers are out. The roads are coming back. The dirt roads are opening up, and it's time to start riding those bikes again. I'm really happy. I've this year became the owner of my first new motorcycle after a few years riding, and so shout out to Jamie up there at Adventure Moto for hooking me up with a nice new adventure bike that I can't wait to rip on this summer. And in the spirit of that, a little something that all of you riders are going to enjoy and be happy to know about. And if you're not a motorcycle rider, you're going to be glad that I told you about this, because later this month you're going to be seeing hundreds of people. Actually, in July, you're going to be seeing hundreds of people making their way through our province and indeed across the entire country as part of the Rolling Barrage, a coast-to-coast motorcycle ride to combat PTSD. And here to tell us more about it is my good friend and veteran influencer, I would say, and organizer, Steve Hurley. Steve, thanks for coming down, man.
No problem.
Now, we connected for a little lunch last week, and one of the things you were educating me on is this Rolling Barrage, which as a rider sounds really cool. So I wonder if you could tell us a little bit more about it. But first, I'd love to just, for our West Talk audience, if you can tell us a little bit more about yourself, sort of your background professionally, and what you've been up to lately.
Born and raised in Massey Drive. Joined the Army in '89, reserves. Toured in Medak Pocket, Reg Force 94, another tour in '99, short and sweet here, I guess. Yeah, 3 trades, traveled the country, been all over, did 16 years in uniform, 5 years committed with peer work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been quite an experience, from infantry to a lineman to artilleryman. It's been a whirlwind.
Yeah. Traveled a lot of the world, and you worked in, I guess, were posted up in different parts of the country over the years.
Yeah, been in Bosnia, former Yugoslavia, down through Zagreb, Split, Italy, been around, yeah. So.
Yeah. And what about in Canada, like during your time in the forces, where were you living mostly?
Well, basically right across the province, time in Halifax, Gagetown, Kingston, Ontario, Charlotte, Manitoba. Basically, been in every province, worked out of every province, Vancouver, right across the country, yeah. So it's been quite an experience and an eye-opener, and I'm very grateful that I got the chance to do it, actually. So
yeah. I mean, lately in my new job, I'm getting to interact with a lot of veterans, and I mean, a lot of people have had some really adventurous careers. I'm meeting now, like 40 years old, I'm meeting people who are 40 years old and basically retiring out of the forces who've have already lived 2 lives.
Yeah, most certainly.
Yeah, so very interesting, especially for Newfoundlanders. What a way to get out and see the world, right?
Well, the West Coast, Newfoundland, well, the Newfoundlanders itself, when I was doing my peer support work from 2009 till 2014, believe it or not, during our era, there's 13 to 14% of Newfoundland Labradorians that served in our forces.
That's a lot.
That's a huge number that people don't realize, right? So
yeah.
We're all scattered, we're settled around, we hang out in the cabins, you know.
Yeah.
Life is great.
Yeah, there are a lot of veterans now who are holding up here in Newfoundland, right? Mm-hmm. So what is it like? What is life like after the forces? You know, you have such this big, adventurous, kind of challenging career, and then eventually someday it's time to relax and go, you know, move back into Newfoundland and settle down. But what is that really like?
I guess the biggest thing as you're asking that question is find the purpose through your day.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing, biggest challenge I found myself personally, is finding purpose. And I did find some purpose, and I really did. So
yeah. So you're involved with a few different things now, this being one of them. But I also know you as somebody in the community. I know you're involved with Canada Connect.
Yes.
So before we move on, because I know Canada Connect's also a sponsor of the Rolling Barrage, so can you just kind of talk about what that is?
Canada Connect is a wellness company that's brings awareness to municipal marijuana,
Yeah.
basically. And I'm an ambassador for West Coast of Newfoundland, who create events, keep the veteran community together. And I feel like I'm an advocate for that. And there's not much here in the West Coast of Newfoundland where you leave the rock, you get on the rock, and we're kind of excluded from the rest of Canada. But yeah, there's a few of us in the woodwork out there that's doing a lot of great things, and I'm glad to be a part of it. So
Canada Connect, from what I understand, are helping help connect with veterans and to help them access basically medication.
Yes.
And help kind of go through the consulting process and help with the doctors and things like that. Is that accurate? Or?
Yeah, it's pretty accurate. It's a safe environment through the education of municipal marijuana, and it's not. People run with a stigma like PTSD. It's a stigma stuck to it, but there's more than just a puff. You know what I mean? There's edibles, there's creams, and the world, and it's not only military, it's RCMP, first responders that we look after too. So and I have access to the connections for that also.
Cool.
So,
Well, it can definitely be a very helpful substance and compound, and of course, people who leave the forces often leave with a variety of injuries, damages, from mentally and physically, just from the experiences that have been had over these decades,
Mm-hmm.
So it's great to hear that there's people like you in the community help putting that, patching that up. Now, the Rolling Barrage, I see here that it's a coast-to-coast ride to combat PTSD. Can you explain that piece a little bit and really how this ties together veterans, motorcyclists, and what this combating PTSD piece is about?
Well, their mission, the Rolling Barrage, their mission is to create that awareness and to reduce that stigma through military, RCMP, first responders, Coast Guard, and to bring that awareness to the community that there are people struggling and in a united way to bring that awareness, right? So, the ride itself started in 2017. Founder Scott Casey out of Alberta started the ride. I think there were 6 of them that started the ride in St. John's. Figured they'd do a year. Here they are this year running 10 years. It's like totally amazing.
This is the 10th year?
This is their 10th annual year, which they didn't think they'd make it to, I guess. But here they are, a foundation, built foundation, their own foundation to this date, and it's what they're doing. It changed my life 4 years ago when I signed up, literally for the day, because not all motorcycle groups, you run, people think, it's Dale's name. There's the, you know what I mean, the big bad clubs, but there's no such bad motorcycle club, because as far as I'm concerned, if you got a group of bikes, they're doing awareness for something.
Yeah.
And when you're riding a bike, it creates centeredness, and you just can find your balance, and you're just focused on that, right?
Yeah. Well, that's one thing that any person who's ridden a motorcycle can relate to, the fact that mental clarity that you get when you're just man and machine, woman and machine, just becoming one on the road like that. Your mind doesn't have a lot of extra space to think about BS, right? You're kind of focused on what you're doing and your surroundings. So it is beautiful. And it's therapeutic for a lot of people, whether they realize it or not,
So when you're riding throughout the day and you stop in each community, each province, and you have the support from the community, which makes it so much stronger. You start talking amongst your comrades and who you rode with that day. You're meeting different people. It comes down to just the balance and you're living.
Yeah.
You're still living, and that's the whole enjoyment of it, right? You know what I mean?
And it does seem like a bit of a mission, though, too, because I just want to get into the scale of this so people can understand. This is almost unbelievable.
Yes.
The scale and proportion of what happens. So I'll give a quick little speed run of it for the viewers at home. But basically, people are joining this ride. It starts in St. John's, and people are riding motorcycles all the way across the country to BC.
Yes.
But a lot of these people are riding their bikes from BC in the States to St. John's just to get started. They're already clearing the country just to join this ride, right?
Passionate people.
Yeah, now there's some people who might be hearing this, and not everybody's doing that. There's also partners and sponsors who are helping, like truck over bikes and things like that. But on July 28th, that's the first night, everybody's starting out in St. John's. What's that going to look like? And then what is that, to the best of your ability to explain, what does that journey across the country really look like?
From my own personal experience, this year being my second full pull, as you call it, just the hype of it, the anxiety, the build-up of it, the unknowing, But when you're getting that group of people, of like-minded people, it's just so powerful. And automatically there's zero judgment.
Yeah.
So when you're united by that group of people and you're all there for the same cause and purpose, it's just so powerful. So you leave St. John's the 28th, you travel to Gander that night, and you're rolling in, you're making awareness. You're rolling in, you're stopping for lunch, and people say, oh, hey, what's going on, that big group of motorcyclists? What are they all here for? What are they doing, right? And you're talking it up. When you leave, they roll out, oh, this is what they're doing. Oh, my dad could benefit from that. My mom could benefit from that.
Right.
Maybe I could just look into this deeper, you know what I mean? And that's what happened with me in the first year. I did a small leg from Deer Lake to Port aux Basques. I was hooked, line and sinker. I swallowed the boat and everything. So yeah, I signed up in 2024. I purchased a new bike and did the full pull.
Wow. So you're like spreading this message on the ride. Like everywhere you go, really, you're getting a chance to sort of talk about this to people. Like you said, restaurants and hotels, everywhere you're stopping, you're kind of speaking about this.
I think Scott said in 2024, the founder, he said, we stopped somewhere, I can't remember where, and the big group was there. He said, they hear us now.
Yeah.
They hear us now. You know what I mean? It was pretty powerful when they making that awareness.
Yeah, well, literally and figuratively, I guess it's hard to miss hundreds of motorcycles, you know, a literal Rolling Barrage, I think it's a great name, making its way across the province. And as a Newfoundlander, it brings me a bit of honor to know that this sort of gets to start out here on the far east coast, right?
Yeah, and this year too, it's the Rolling Barrage got tied in with the Run for the Wall. It's an American run for the Vietnam vets years ago. And there's a lot of them coming this year to join us this year on this ride. And it's both sides of the border united, and it's going to be pretty cool. So I'm going to meet some more new people. Sounds
very cool, man. Listen, our 10-minute interview has already come to a close. It happens pretty fast, eh? It goes by just like that. So just in the last bits of it, a couple things. I can see here on this brochure, the registration cost for this is basically free. It's, you know, you can go on this whole ride across the country for a $90 registration. Of course, you're responsible for your own hotels and fuel and stuff, but you guys help organize that to make it easy for people. And is this open really for anybody who wants to support this cause?
I think we push for it because you want to come out and see what the families are doing, their support. Like I have a support network, so when you join, a civic comes out to join, or community members come out and join on ride, most certainly come out and see what power you have when you're circled with that many people, right?
Yeah. Amazing. So on the 28th of July, out there in St. John's, people are going to see this leaving. Anybody watching on August 1st, you guys are going to be making your way through central Newfoundland and then right on through to the mainland. So
we'll be doing a tour of the city on August the 2nd here in Cornbrook, meeting at the Fire Hall.
Wicked.
Yeah.
Well, I will be there.
Yeah.
I will be there and give you guys a good handshake and send you guys onward on the rest of your journey. Steve, I want to thank you for coming down. Is there any particular other place that people should go to get information from here on out if they want to learn more?
TheRollingBarrage.com. You just Google the Rolling Barrage. You will not miss it because it's all over Nosy Book right now and the world and the World Wide Web. Being their 10th year, there's a lot of advertisement going on. So and hook me up. Find me, and I'll certainly point you in the right direction.
Yeah, you don't mind talking about it?
No, I don't mind talking about it. I'm passionate about it. So.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Steve, man.
Thank you.
Best of luck on your ride and be safe.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back to run through all the events of the month happening here in the Corner Brook area, so stay tuned.
My biggest therapy is Mother Nature. When I walk through the woods, I'm seeing a little bit more than just a tree and just a plant. I see what I can do with it. I make medicines and salves from plants and trees. In 2014, I suffered with a heart attack. Since I had my heart attack, obviously there were some Western medications involved. And on top of the Western medication, I have found myself nature-wise, and medicines provided by Mother Nature has helped me a lot. With nature, I have burned sage and sweetgrass. I find that that cleanses the air and, you know, helps you cleanse your body. It also helps me talk to my ancestors. That has helped me through this whole process. I feel responsible as a Mi'kmaq person to help Mother Nature. We look at everything, whether it is a rock or a tree, as life. When I collect my medicines, I'm offering tobacco to thank the plant for the medicine. So the plant will, you know, give me medicine again the following year. It's a part of the big whole. Right now we're standing in the middle of a boreal forest I can look around, I can see birch trees. You know, birch tree, for example, there's so many things you can do with that. That is the tree of life. Aboriginal people have used the bark for making canoes, for making shelter, for fire starting. There's a fungus that grows on birch, it's called chaga. I use that for my tea. It's a very, very good all-around tonic. Balsam fir trees, the blisters on those trees actually were used to heal cuts and scrapes. You cut yourself in the woods, the first thing we'll do is put some balsam fir sap on it. Society now is so fast. I think the world really needs to slow down and you know, just enjoy nature and the smells and the sights and sounds. Well, this is where it all started in the beginning. It was from our plants, you know, and our animals and that kind of thing. Why not go back to the beginning and you know, get back to our roots again? It's very important for the Mi'kmaq people to embrace native tradition. You know, for many, many years, you know, we were told not to be Aboriginal, and I think now society has embraced, you know, Aboriginal peoples, and you know, we should embrace our history in the sense of, you know, traditional medicines and traditional foods. You know, I think it's all a part of the culture that we've lost. So now we have an opportunity to reach out and find ourselves again.
So why volunteer at Rogers TV? Well, it's fun, exciting, and challenging. You can develop practical, hands-on skills in TV production, make new friends, and have fun, all while giving back to your community. For a few hours a week, you can be part of a great team making great local television. Want to find out more? Get in touch with us at rogerstv.com. Make your mark and find a new passion as a Rogers TV volunteer.
Hello everyone, I can't believe it's June. In the lobby, we have an exhibit by Ellen Wareham and her students. Next week, we have Chicago in the theater, presented by the students of Graham Academy. This production is by the senior company of Graham Academy, and it's going to be a showstopper. June 12th and 13th, the Corner Brook Dance Hub is with us for their year-end recital. Find your groove with dance moves to hits and everything from K-pop demon hunters to Carnival of the Animals. The following week, we're carrying on our dance theme with 3 new pieces from Kittiwake Dance. This compelling program features 3 distinct and powerful works by celebrated choreographers. Unbecoming by Joël Azevedo, Tumult by Jean Grandmaître, and Passion by Yukiki Hachitori. From raw intensity to sweeping emotion, each piece offers a unique exploration of movement, humanity, and artistic expression. Join us for an inspiring evening showcasing the versatility and artistry of Newfoundland and Labrador and their professional ballet company, Kittiwake Dance. This summer, Graham Academy will be with us in July, showcasing their Broadway Boot Camp show. On behalf of myself and all of the staff, thank you for your continued support this year. And we have some exciting plans for the fall. So check out our website, and I'll see you at the show.
Hello, it's Melanie here at Grenfell campus, and I'll tell you about a few things happening here on campus during June. So it's Pride Month, and we'll be doing lots to celebrate during Pride Month, but a couple of our key events include a Pride flag raising and barbecue that'll take place at the flagpoles on June 3rd at noon. On June 13th, we'll have a Pride Craft Fair, and that'll take place in our main atrium in the Arts and Science Building. And on June 16th, we'll have Planting with Pride in the campus courtyard. So please, everyone, join us for these public events. There's something cool happening over at the Grenfell Art Gallery. So it's Tangley, which is the Master of Fine Arts Visual Arts Class of 2026 exhibit. So the exhibit will open on June 5th from 6 to 8 p.m. and it'll run until July 4th. So please stop by to check out the work from our master students. The School of Fine Arts also launched Down the Line. It's a publication that featured recent artwork and reflections by more than 50 alumni from the Fine Arts program, the Visual Arts program specifically. The celebration was recently held at Grenfell, and a second event is planned for the rooms for mid-June. Copies of this commemorative book will be available soon at the Grenfell Gallery. It's summertime, so that means Kids U here at Grenfell campus. There's lots of fun and educational options for your school-age kids this summer. Registration numbers are high, but there's still some space available in some of our programs. And our Grenfell Warriors camps offers the opportunity to learn basketball, volleyball, and just some other fun sports. So learn more about summer programming for school-age kids by visiting our webpage. And finally, I thought I would tell you about a little conference happening here on campus, prioritizing connections that matter for sustaining rural, island, and northern communities. So delegates from across the country are going to get together to talk about important issues such as economics, aging and well-being, entrepreneurship, and tourism. So it's kind of a fun thing I thought you might like to know more about. So to learn about what's happening at Grenfell, please visit our website or follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Thanks.
We do 4 beats to call our ancestors to our circle. For 15 years, I was very involved with the community. And then one day, a tragedy happened. My 15-year-old grandson was killed in a car accident. There's nothing in this world like it. I went to a very dark place where all you can think about is the loss and the pain. And nothing else comes into your mind until one day you get a phone call and all of a sudden the light comes on and you remember, well, maybe I'll go, it may help, it may not help. But the moment that I got into the circle, and it was like a weight lifted. The culture for me, is what brought me back. My family, my friends too, as well, of course, in the community, but my culture, my beliefs, and the women. A healing circle is very powerful. You have women who have been through trauma, who at the moment are probably still going through trauma like I was, physically and emotionally. When the stick or the rock is passed around to each person and they speak, it's like a piece of your pain went to each of them. And when the stick comes back to you, half of that load on your shoulder seems to be lifted. It's very powerful, and it's there. It's offered to anybody who needs it. A healing circle can be called anytime. There are a lot of things that we offer in the culture, help offers in the culture, the Women's Association, with talking circles and healing circles, workshops, different workshops that you can come to. I think if you're focused on something other than your grief, it takes away for that little, that short period of time. It gives you some relief and something to look forward to. And I think every time you do that, it gives you little baby steps back into where you should be, back into your life and back into your community's life, your family's life.
And that's it for this week's episode of West Talk. I want to thank Steve Hurley for coming down from CannaConnect to tell us about this year's Rolling Barrage. And if you're interested in what you've heard and you want to find out how you can support or maybe even join in, go to therollingbarrage.com and you'll get everything you're looking for. Thanks as well to everyone for supporting the events that we just told you about. We want to see you getting out there and buying tickets and being part of the scene in Western Newfoundland. That's it for this week. We'll be back next Tuesday with another episode. Have a great night.